it's championship or bust. Like, I mean, LeBron put this team together in order to compete for championships at the twilight of his career. So, I mean, for them to be able to come out, and him particularly, to be able to come out and show that he's healthy and that he's capable of being able to carry this team on another title run to try to repeat, I think that would be the bigger statement made around the basketball world.
I agree with your analysis, and I disagree with your conclusion. Guys, let's think about this for a second. We know the Knicks have no chance to win the championship, and we know the Lakers do have a chance. This is the Knicks championship. If the Knicks play a team like the Lakers toward the end of the season, and LeBron is playing, and I don't care if he's been off a month and played a couple games or 2 months or whatever, but LeBron and AD are in the game, and the Knicks can beat the Lakers, that's their championship. Look, they might beat the Hawks in the first round. And by the way, this would be a good confidence boost for a tough series against Atlanta, which I think I'd favor the Knicks by a little bit in, and maybe a little bit more if they could beat the Lakers in a game that people are actually watching and paying attention to. And we know that's their ceiling. They have a 0% chance to get past the second round, but they have a decent one to get there. Games like these are the biggest games the Knicks have played in, what, a decade? This is huge for the Knicks. The Lakers right now, like you could say, well, they want to avoid the play-in. I disagree. I think maybe they could lose to the Blazers or the Warriors in one game, but they won't then follow up and also lose to the Grizzlies or the Spurs with LeBron and Schroeder and AD all playing. And in fact, that'll give them some time to ramp up for the Jazz or the Suns, against whom I like their chances better than the Clippers cold walking into a first-round series. I'd rather them, as a Lakers fan, play the play-in and then avoid the Clippers in the first round. So, no, yes, I understand your analysis, Chris, but my conclusion, based on the stuff you said, way bigger for the New York Knicks.
I got to say, the Knicks win Sunday against the Clippers, I'm prepared to declare that the biggest win they've had in 8 years since they eliminated the Celtics back in the 2013 playoffs. That's a commentary on that victory and a commentary on how bad the last 8 years have been. If they win tonight's game, they will have gone 4-2 on this road trip, and they will come home with a 1-game lead and destiny on the number 4 seed. So while I agree that the Knicks are already accomplished this season, it's already been great, their horizon has changed a little bit. And now they have the opportunity to set themselves up with home court advantage. Getting the number 4 seed a week ago, I would have told you I don't think they can do it. Respectfully, I don't think they can do it because of how tough their schedule is. But then they've come back and held on this road trip. And so now their opportunity to send a message, not to anybody else in the league, but to themselves about their legitimacy with getting a win tonight with LeBron coming back. I know Knicks fans were kind of bummed. I heard from a couple of them that I'm friends with. They're kind of bummed yesterday when they heard that LeBron was coming back. I'm like, no, this is actually going to be good for you because this is going to increase the pressure a little bit. This is exactly what the Knicks need right now. And if you're a Knicks fan, you are staying up late to watch this game tonight. And that hasn't been the case for the Knicks in a really long time.
Wendy, I hear everything you're talking about, and I know Knicks fans around the tri-state area are excited about what's happening with this team. But I still look at this from the Lakers' perspective because, like Max, I'm a Lakers fan, and I can't help but think the implications of LeBron James coming back and trying to be healthy and trying to make sure that he's got himself right for this play-in scenario and then going on into the playoffs. Like, if the playoffs were to start and the Lakers are going to be in the play-in, you're talking about LeBron James having the lowest seeding that he's ever had going into a playoff situation. And so I gotta have a little bit of concern about what version of LeBron James we're going to see. And I think tonight is an opportunity for them to make a statement, and him in particular to make a statement about the Lakers' prospects on the postseason.
But let's say they don't. We know why that would be. I mean, the Knicks are a tough, scrappy team. They have continuity right now that the Lakers don't have. So if the Lakers don't beat the Knicks, it's not because they can't beat the Knicks. It's because LeBron just got back again. And he and AD have to figure it out. And Schroeder's still not playing. So let's say they don't. Big deal. And in terms of their seeding, as I said, I haven't heard you respond as a Lakers fan. And I'm curious also, Wendy, about what you think. I think the Lakers are better off, possibly, in the play-in tournament than they are just ending this regular season, the way they're going now and playing the Clippers in the first round?
Max, see, you get me every time when you start making these arguments because you just said it would be a tremendous confidence boost. Wendy just said it'd be a tremendous confidence boost for the Knicks if they can prove to themselves that they're capable of competing at this level against a Lakers team with LeBron James. Well, what would it mean for the Lakers if they can go out there and show, you know what, we can beat teams now. We've got LeBron James back healthy. What would it mean to them if they were to see their superstar, their best player, being able to come out there and show that he's still going to be one of those top-level guys once the postseason kicks off?
It'd be very good. There's no denying that. I just don't see where the downside is so very terrible for them. They would know, okay, we got a little more time to get guys in the groove. Wendy, are they better off in the play-in or facing the Clippers in the first round, the Lakers?
Well, here's what you need to know. The Clippers would prefer to play the Lakers in the first round for the reasons that you said, and because Staples Center is going to have a very small attendance in the first round, which means that the Lakers' home court on the road advantage is almost vaporized against the Clippers. So the Clippers would prefer to put it. But I got to say, as you watch how this seeding falls in the Western Conference, the Utah Jazz have an opportunity to set themselves up for one of the best draws I can ever remember. If this falls right, and the way that it looks right now, the Jazz could be on the opposite side of the bracket as the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Suns, who have been on their heels for the number one seed for the whole second half. They could avoid all three of those teams until the conference finals. So they're watching and saying that's exactly how they want it to play out. The Lakers, by the way, are not out of getting into six. As you mentioned, Max, Portland has a difficult week this week, especially because they've got a game coming up with the Jazz. So if the Lakers could somehow pull off going 4-0 this week, which, you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility if LeBron plays well, they could still get into six. But either way, the Jazz are saying, let's let the Lakers and the Clippers fight it out amongst themselves.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.